I had a real DJ comment here. Nefertiti says you don't need 6 decks. You can just use record box. Now, I thought initially that would be, when I first heard that, I was like, yeah, he's right. But really what Nefertiti's trying to do is he's trying to stop everyone else jumping on the six decks wagon because, and now this is actually a trade secret, so, don't tell everybody about this, but there's this kind of certain limit. So if you do 3 decks, it's pretty hard. 1 deck, really hard. 2 decks, fine. 4 decks, super hard. 5 decks, really hard. 6 decks, actually easier than 2 decks. But no one ever gets the opportunity. And that's one of the weirdest things. 7, too much. 5, too little. 6, it's the equilibrium. So I think if you can afford it, go into debt if you have to. Go into debt if you have to. If you can afford it, get 6 decks at home. You don't even need to practice. Just press play on them and make sure it's the same track on each deck. And that's it, really. Yeah, it makes you think, doesn't it? Yeah, it does make you think. And record box, you don't need a record box. Just put your MP3s directly into the hole. I usually get a glass of warm water, put them in there, dissolve them, and then I'll just pour them into the USB port. Just goes in there, and that's why it's called. That's why Beatport is called that. It's like US Beatport. 8 decks and 4 turntables, the easiest I've found, says DJ Royal Fail, and that's probably true as well. You don't know where these kind of prime numbers are coming in. Oh, we've seen Katie Cooper here. Katie Cooper did actually mention, had the top comment on the post, so well done. A round of applause there. Redlining is the new black. And you know what? I have done the opposite. I've done the old black where accidentally nothing was turned on on the decks and mixer. Nothing was turned on. And someone saw from a balcony, and then they put me on Twitter, and everyone was saying really mean things about me. Really mean things about me. But, redlining, it's a sound engineer's nightmare. It's their nightmare. They dream about those red lights. The red lights get in their eyes like Terminator. Judgment Day is upon us, However, in the production world, I've now decided not to master music anymore. I just push it in the red line on Ableton and then export it, and it just clips the top off, and it sounds better anyway. So who am I to judge? But let's have a look at some more questions here. Thank you for that, Katie. Green rooms aren't always green. Okay, for a second there, I was actually in a green room, but it changes. So if you actually get the chance to get into a green room, and I've been into a couple, by force. I wasn't allowed in there, but I got in there eventually. If you can get into a green room, you'll notice that this is a green room. So like at the moment it was green, and then it's purple, and then it's red. It just changes colour. It's just really dependent on the mood of the headliner, really. I always put that on my rider. And if you are a DJ that has a rider, make sure you choose your room colour on there. So you say, I want 4 cans of Foster's, Kinder Egg, scratch card. Remember to always get a scratch card on your rider, because it could double your fee. I didn't come up with that one myself. I think it was Flowdan. That's it. And then make sure you decide the colour of your room as well when you're doing this sort of thing. So yeah, it's a pretty fun time. It's not always going to be green. The grass is always greener, isn't it? But it is. It's very important you get the colour of your room right, so that you're feeling adequately lubed on the decks, as it were. That's an industry term. Mexican Gold has written here: Flax don't do anything special. DJs just download them for attention. And I'm going to be honest with you, I talk about Flax more than most people. I am a file format nut. And they don't do anything special, you're right. But when you post about Flax, sometimes, like Fish Octagon, he'll get a vinyl record and he'll show it off on his stream. Now, what I usually do is I will get my FLAC record and I'll play it through onto my story, and then specifically mention that it is a FLAC file. So definitely do that. And you're gonna, you'll be famous in a few days. That's literally what happened to me. As soon as I started talking about FLACs, that was it. the followers were piling in, and it was it was actually a bit overwhelming, to be honest with you. I've gone back to MP3s now. McLean Brendan's put just the phrase, and this is something that he wished he knew when he first started DJing. Just the phrase, someone else will have to set it up, yeah? I can't say that I relate to that at all, because I always set up my decks. I actually have to set up my decks. Cold Sweat, Flight FM could be in the discussion if you tell me something about Flight FM that you wish you knew. Oh, so one thing you wish you knew when you were a DJ, when you started DJing, was you wish you knew Flight FM. Flight FM is a kind of a crazy... It's a crazy type of sound, really. I've never heard anything like it. Although I have heard quite a lot of songs that go... can't tell you what those songs were. It might have been Flight FM. But yeah, and obviously I'll stop playing Flight FM as soon as it stops working. And I've heard Flight FM 3 times in the last week, and not even on my own iPod. So yeah, you know. And also EasyJet, they're thinking about getting into a bit of Flight FM as well. They bought a couple of Flight FMs. Ryanair, that's got 1 Flight FM so far. British Airways, they've got about 4 Flight FMs. So you know, you're going to be seeing them popping up more and more. And then especially when like drones start coming into fruition a little bit more. So you're going to get drones are actually going to fly you like an Uber driver. Probably be hearing Flight FM in there. But I'm going to be honest with you, if I was in some sort of unmanned drone being flown somewhere and I heard probably shit myself and just have to leave. But